Well, it's summertime. And what better way to celebrate summer than to watch a bunch of movies where people die in horrible, horrible ways, just enjoying their summers. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Nick at the Lost River Driving, and I'm coming at you today to do another list. Yes, that's me, rankings, lists. I've been doing them a lot lately, and that's just because I have a lot of lists I never did that I want to do and get them out there. So today's list is going to be top 10 summer horror movies. Now, I posted on my community page yesterday a poll for best summer slashers or the Conjuring universe ranking. I'm really glad this one won out because I'm not seeing The Conjuring 3 until tonight as I'm recording this, and I would have liked to include that in here. Having said that, I decided to make this an all-encompassing top 10 summer horror movies, not just slashers. There are still slashers in here, but it's because my number one is not a slasher, but I gotta talk about it. So let's get started. Coming in at number 10 is Eli Roth's Cabin Fever. I saw this movie when I was a kid, and it freaked me out. The idea that there could be a rotting carcass in a body of water that's connected to the water supply of a town that can give everyone this flesh-eating virus was really not that far-fetched. I always thought that the creep factor in this was like a 10. Cabin Fever is not a perfect movie. It doesn't take itself seriously for good portions of it. Everybody at some point in their life goes to a cabin with friends or family. And what do you do in the summer when you go to a cabin with a group of people? You drink, you go swimming, whatever. You could end up in a cabin with a flesh-eating virus. And it's no way to enjoy your summer. One of the scenes that stuck out to me always, and still does to this day, is when the woman is shaving her legs in the bathtub and skin is just peeling away. And it's disgusting. So number 10, Cabin Fever. Coming in at number 9 is 2003's Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn obviously finds a group of people, car breaks down, out in the middle of nowhere, take a wrong turn. A family of cannibals wants to eat them and kill them all one by one. That's pretty much the story of Wrong Turn. That's terrifying. If your car breaks down while you're on a trip, you're in the middle of nowhere, you have no idea where you are. I mean, it happens to people all the time. These are very realistic scenarios that happen all the time. And for that to happen, like I said, you don't know where you are, so you end up running into the locals of the area. Well, what happens if the locals are cannibals and they want to kill you and your friends and eat you? I mean, very realistic. I actually had an experience, and all I could think about was this movie when we got trapped in the mountains in Tennessee, me and my two friends, years ago, in the middle of nowhere. I kept saying, this is some Wrong Turn stuff. We had to have the fire department rescue us from the mountains. Yeah. Crazy story, true story. I have video and photo evidence. Played on a very primal fear that we all have. You're on a trip with your friends in the summer. You don't know where you are. The car breaks down. You're at the mercy of whoever and whatever in that area. So, love Wrong Turn. The franchise went down a path. We'll say that. But Wrong Turn's fantastic. That comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8 is Piranha 3D. I picked Piranha 3D over the original Piranha for a few reasons. Piranha 3D is just so fun. It's so fun. 3 Double D, you have some super fun kills, some really cool visuals, and the really just the story of Piranha in these movies taps into a whole, it taps into a whole different body of water. So it's a totally different, fear. A lot of people can swim in a lake because they're like, well, there's not gonna be a shark in here. But piranhas, though, I thought that was so cool. And the thing is, too, you just get it. It's a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows what it is. It does it really, really well. It's just fun. It's so fun. The carnage candy in this movie is aplenty. Coming in at number 7 is The Hills Have Eyes, 2006. This is a remake that I find better than the original. Again, about a family on a trip across the country. From Ohio to California, I believe. Where I live to where I want to live. Ironic. Maybe I'll end up in a Hills Have Eyes scenario one day. We can only hope. They have car troubles. They're stranded in the middle of the desert. And what do you know? It just so happens to be right near this little town where they tested a bunch of nuclear material years and years and years ago. Now everyone's a bunch of inbred, radioactive basically monsters, playing on one of those primal fears. I don't really need to explain that. That kind of similar to Wrong Turn. The Hills Have Eyes is super effective because, again, not something that could not happen. A lot of these movies are things that could happen. That's what makes them these great summer horror movies. The Hills Have Eyes is very brutal, very uncomfortable at times, and you just feel the heat in the shots. You're not there, but you feel like you're there. You're like, man, I can just tell it is like blistering hot out there, and I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that. So that's why summer comes to my mind in this movie. It's a super, super fun time. It's brutal. It's crazy. It's off the wall, and I watch it every summer. Coming in at number 6 is Jeepers Creepers. Yes, my boy Jeeps. Now, Jeepers Creepers, obviously going to make this list. Jeepers Creepers was filmed in the town in Florida where my mom lives. So I've been lucky enough to see those filming locations, which I have a video on the channel if you guys have not watched that. Middle of Florida, of course. Gonna be hot, gonna be swampy, gonna be unrelenting. Well, that's Jeepers Creepers. Again, another movie, brother and sister, driving home from, I think for the summer from college. I'm trying to remember exactly. Well, what happens? They're in the middle of nowhere, driving on these country roads, come across Jeeps. Havoc ensues, and he'll be eating you. That's really the plot of Jeepers Creepers. Very hot feeling. You feel the heat throughout this. The idea of coming home from school for the summer, going to visit your family, something a lot of us do or have done at one point in our lives. And what happens if you're driving home? You got to drive, however long to get there. You happen to run into the creeper. Well, summer ruined. Basic summer setup. Absolutely ruthless killing machine creature, Jeepers Creepers. Just a great watch around summertime, especially if you live in Florida or you plan to visit there. Coming in at number 5 is The Devil's Rejects. Now, I picked The Devil's Rejects not because there's not that basic summer setup. A lot of these I've gone over. There's, whether it's Piranha where you're swimming in a lake and it's spring break or whatever it may be. You go to a cabin with your friends or you're on a cross-country trip during the summer, blah, blah, blah. The Devil's Rejects is a summer horror movie because it just takes place in the summer. Everything about it screams summer. Whether it's the scene of Tutti Frutti, whether it's the ending scene, the opening scene, when they're running through, the woods and the dirt roads and everything, the movie just screams summer. Part of that's the color palette. They really play off of the fact that it's, the heat. It feels like a summer road horror movie. And that's exactly what The Devil's Rejects is. The Devil's Rejects, although I prefer House of a Thousand Corpses is a October horror movie. This is a summer horror movie. Like, it's not bad enough that you have this insane family on the road just picking people off one by one. But you're also dealing with like 100-degree heat, man. Come on now. Feels like summer, looks like summer, plays off of summer and the heat. It's a top 10 summer horror movie in my opinion. Coming in at number 4 is I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yes, of course. I had to mention some more slashers in here. I Know What You Did Last Summer is in my opinion, a summer classic slasher movie. I have very fond memories of this movie. When I was a child, this is what you would always see this movie playing on TV around 4th of July, Memorial Day, like capitalizing on the warmer months holidays. That's I Know What You Did Last Summer because it's a summer slasher movie. Again, another realistic setup playing off of a primal fear. Group of friends, they hit a dude in the summertime. Well, let's just get rid of the body, act like this never happened. A year later, they're getting these menacing reminders in the form of notes and sometimes just a good old hook that this person knows what they did last summer. Playing off the idea that sometimes your mistakes follow you. You can't get away from them. You can't bury them. And I Know What You Did Last Summer really plays off of that super well. You got a great cast, as I mentioned. You got some really cool kills. It's just an absolute blast from start to finish. It is so 90s. It's fantastic. Coming in at number 3 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, you could do 74 or 03 right here. That's up to you. Both movies, Texas heat, summertime. Whether we're talking about the visuals, whether we're talking about just the clothing, the color palette, it is summer through and through. Summer in the South. It's hot, like it's not already bad enough. You gotta deal with this dude with a leather face running around wanting to kill you with a chainsaw. Come on, man. Again, a movie you watch every summer. A movie that feels like summer. You can watch it in October. It's a horror movie. It's a horror classic. But this is a summer horror movie. And again, group of friends, all on a road trip out in Texas. Again, primal fear. You are at the mercy of the locals. And the locals here happen to be the Sawyer family and good old Leatherface. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2. Next two are going to be super simple for a lot of you guys. I know you're going to expect it. Number 2 is Friday the 13th. The original Friday the 13th. Now, you could have put pretty much any of the top Friday the 13th movies in this spot because they are just quintessential summer camp slasher movies. Okay? You go to summer camp with your friends. You want to swim. You want to get high. You want to get drunk. You want to make babies, but not make babies. There happens to be a killer on the loose at the camp. Well, how many of us have been to summer camp or wanted to go to a summer camp? Friday the 13th plays off of one of the most popular things to do in the summertime. Get together with your friends, go camping. So how could it not make the list? Absolutely fantastic summer horror movie. My favorite summer slasher, iconic, Friday the 13th at number 2. Coming in at number 1, to nobody's surprise, is Jaws. Jaws is, in my opinion, the best summer horror movie. For a lot of reasons, but I'll keep it brief. Around the summertime, if you don't live near the ocean, more than likely you're traveling somewhere that has a beach. Well, what's in the water? Sharks. It's a thing that we all have to just come to terms with. There are sharks in the ocean. Well, how do you know they're not going to attack you? I'm not trying to scare you guys, but Jaws plays off a very primal fear. Giant body of water. Oh, summertime. Let's all go swim. Let's enjoy ourselves. Oh, there's a giant great white that wants to eat everyone. Jaws is absolutely a quintessential summer watch. It has probably scared millions and millions of people of the ocean. This movie alone. It's also given sharks a bad rap. Though great whites, they're not to be played with. So Jaws, the number 1 summer horror movie. This list wasn't really a review. This was a ranking of what I think the 10 best summer horror movies are that you should watch every summer, that I watch every summer, and why they're included in the list. And that's basically it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. And check us out on Patreon. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, pulling out.